according to plan.
When they were wargaming earlier on, they were moving their blocks and the Romans were staying still. What happens in reality is that Romans have their own plan.
That's right.
So do you want me to go
You're
start
not
pushing?
moving at all yet.
I think we should be moving forward and sort of pushing them towards the water.
Start moving the legions sort of here, here and here?
Time is running out for the team. Crassus is driving his legions forward, determined to crush Spartacus and his slave rebellion quickly. Most of the team's troops are still deployed defensively on the hill, but Biddy has taken matters into her own hands. She's ordered her slave legionaries forward to meet the Roman advance. And General Elise has finally noticed that on the left side of the field, the Romans are almost upon them.
Dean, you need to be thinking about what your other troops are doing, because they're going to be attacked from the front in a minute.
A unit of Roman cavalry break away and charge Dean's peasants on the team's left flank.
Coming towards us.
Right, we've got to attack these guys here because they're going to really start causing a problem.
Rob seems to know what he wants his troops to do, but is not communicating orders to his lieutenants effectively. Crassus's aggressive tactics have left the team dazed and confused.
I think they're going to come around the corner at me, aren't they? And they're going to push. They're pushing up the hill. We need to get them. I don't know what you want me to do.
Biddy, fortunately, has spotted the danger. She's noticed that the Roman army inexorably is about to outflank her slave army on their right side. They need to move troops there to combat them. They've still got their best troops in reserve, and they probably should use the gladiators to do it.
General, can I just fire some arrows at them, just to kill some of them, please? I would like you to shoot the nearest guys, which are those ones. Shoot them.
Desperate to do something, Biddy sets her archers onto the Romans. But arrows are not enough. They have little effect on the heavily armoured legionaries. She needs to get her best troops, her gladiators, into battle, and fast.
One of the problems with the way the teams fought the battle is they haven't taken the initiative. They had a plan, they were putting it into operation very slowly, but they've allowed the Romans to actually come to them. Only now are they being forced to fight, not on their own terms.
The Romans are not letting the advantage of surprise slip away. On Dean's side, they're closing in, while the team look on, bewildered.
What are they doing? I don't understand what they're doing.
Are you confused, Elise?
Yeah, I am really confused.
The Roman legions are doing what Roman legions do. They're coming to kill them.
A Roman legionary army is like a powered buzzsaw. It will chew up anything you feed into it and spit it out as sawdust the other end.
While the Romans chew through the team's front line, their tribal warriors and Thracians far behind enemy lines are now finally ordered back towards battle. But the slave legionaries at the head of the valley are still stranded, a long hike from the action.
Dean, we've got some up here at the head of the valley. They all need to be pushing down this way. They're sort of wandering around.
Everything we've got then, if they can just start shoving down the valley now. With the Thracian warband, do you want me to go in now? They're at the bottom of the valley now?
Yes.
We need to fill up that gap.
Yeah?
While the team are talking, the Romans are fighting. They've actually engaged them, and I'm not even sure the team have noticed, and they better notice soon, otherwise they're going to push straight through their front ranks and into their rear.
Dean's peasants are fighting for their lives against the Roman front line, desperate for support. He sends his Thracians to help his peasants, but they're cut off by Roman legionaries who form a second line at the bottom of the hill. Without support, the Thracian spearmen will find the heavily armed Roman legionaries a tough opponent. Dean's tribal warriors are in a perfect position to envelop the Romans, but he does not want to engage them, stopping just short of the Roman second line.
The tribal warriors that are lined up on the bottom of the hill, we'll leave them there for the minute, yeah?
These guys
That's
here.
back up.
I would have thought they should be. I would have thought they should come in and start squashing these guys here. Bring him in, Dean.
But it's too late for Dean's Thracian spearmen, who are being routed. Although his 2 units of slave legionaries are at last moving in the right direction, they have a long way to go. The battle for Spartacus's left flank hangs in the balance. Over on the other end of the hill, Biddy's elite gladiators are finally attacking. In fact, Biddy's troops are taking it to the Romans in separate fights all over her side of the battlefield. Biddy controls the team's hardest troops, but they're fragmented, spread out across the hill, fighting for their freedom and their very survival.
On the slave right, the gladiators are holding their own against the Roman legionaries, even though they're outnumbered. The problem is that those Romans are not going to stop. The Romans are going to keep coming, and when these Romans are dead,
some more here.
There are plenty more where those came from. If you look at the generals have not got that big screen of theirs taking the big picture. Exactly. That big screen of theirs is focused on the slaves' own left.
That's the problem.
Dean, look at the screen. See that troops there? They're running away. Can you turn them round?
These ones here. Oh, we can't turn them round.
Oh, right. They're running away.
Yeah,
I think they're just running away.
Dean's Thracians might be running away, but his slave legionaries have finally made it across the valley. Together with the tribal warriors, they pile into the Roman right. The Romans retreat in the face of the fierce slave onslaught, but they reform to create a new front line. The two forces meet in a titanic clash.
I've got a load of people turning around getting your guys, but you've got your general just sat there, and he could come in round from behind and
just send the general and anyone that's spare, just send them in.
The team send in Spartacus himself to fight alongside his men. Dean has finally united all his forces against the Roman right, but his dawdling has cost the team dearly. Many of his peasants and tribesmen have been killed. Even so, the team's daring tactic of attacking the toughest part of the Roman army is finally paying off.
The team have succeeded in enveloping the Roman right flank, and the Roman right flank is being cut to ribbons.
This is going all right over here, actually. I think we're still keeping our numbers here.
Are you winning here?
No, probably not.
Biddy is making a pig's ear of the right wing of her army.
On the team's right, the slaves have been outflanked by the Romans. Lieutenant Biddy reacted quickly, ordering in her toughest troops, the gladiators. But she spread them out across the hill, and overwhelmed by superior Roman numbers, they're retreating. And her slave legionaries in the center of the field are engulfed by Romans. Biddy needs Dean's forces to back her up quickly.
From what I've got on this side, nobody's not doing anything that we can control.
You've got nobody else left that will do what you tell them to do, is that right?
They're either
all doing their own thing.
They're either fighting or they're running off.
In fact, Dean's troops are not running off. They're pursuing fleeing Romans. And the rest of his troops are overwhelming those Romans who have stayed on to fight.
I actually think this part of the battle seems to be going quite well. We need to sweep through them, wipe up what's left, and get them all to join her, because there'll be ragtag and bobtail selection by now, and just go whoomp down there.
Dean's troops press home their advantage. The legionaries on the Roman right are spent. Overwhelmed and outnumbered, they're either routed or massacred.
The Roman right has been destroyed, the slave right has been destroyed, and it's all coming down to one big fight in the center.
This really could go either way. We cannot call this battle at this stage.
I've got a whole load of troops that are regrouped, they're not fighting, because they've just killed lots of people.
Send them towards the main fighting area where there's loads of red.
Yeah.
Slaves from the right of the hill and Romans from the left race to join combat in the center. This is where the battle will be decided.
Dino,
you're losing some here.
We've got a few hanging around back up here. Can you get them to turn around and go in there as well?
At the crucial final stages of battle, Dean's legionaries turn from chasing Romans back to the center of combat. And Biddy's gladiators stop fleeing